Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honeysea Star Tarot, and welcome to the weekend of May 16th through the 18th. Can you believe we're already halfway through May? It's still, I'm adjusting. Before we get started though, I just wanted to say thank you guys to each and every one of you for all your love and support. Truly, each one of you makes the difference in making this channel what it is, and I love you back. So, walking into this weekend, on May 16th, the moon is going to be in Capricorn, and it also happens to be trine with Mercury, which is in Taurus. And so us being led by Mercury, expect this trine to really make you feel blessed. This is a good, positive energy that brings a refreshing breath of air. Now, the moon also happens to be square with Venus during this time, which is currently in Aries. And so between this trine and this square, it brings a refreshing mental stability to our energy and a practicality to our energy as well. And so for Virgos, don't be surprised if it really offers you and ushers in an emotional grounding that really centers our well-being, centers our energy. And again, like I say, brings in that breath of fresh air that you could be craving during this time. Now, right away here, this is the weekend, especially as I was meditating on the astrology, this weekend opens that breath of fresh air where truly, and the empowerment as well as the enlightenment, where you are the movement forward. And this is where you've got mental clarity, you're focused on your vision, you're finding your truth, and you're walking towards your success and embracing your new beginning. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, share what you're building, share your thoughts in the comments below, because what I also see here is you are standing emotionally as the King of Cups energetically too. This is where you've got your center. You're standing wise, you're standing calmly, you're standing in your grounding as well as your confidence and in your emotional maturity, in your intelligence, in all that you've really built and how you've educated, how you've walked through this life, in those experiments, I don't know why that came out, in your experience. Maybe through experimenting through different types of modality intelligences, really looking at different types of educational practices, spiritual practices that have led you towards standing in a place of leadership. And don't be surprised that with this trine between the moon and Mercury, it really helps us with our decision making as well as our discernment and our communication, while the square really offers this push-pull. It brings potential tension between, and makes you really question rather, your values and your desires, and the tension between the two. And so overall, the square presents challenges, but it also presents opportunities to really communicate, look internally, and speak clearly and confidently when it comes to boundaries. And that really has a lot to do with, like I say, making sure that your values, or your desires, I should say rather, align with your values. Stand true to your core and what you stand for. And so a lot of this energy here, don't be surprised that, you could have really been living in the past in a lot of ways. And it wasn't necessarily due to, what I see in this is, an immaturity or naivety in your emotional intelligence or in your spiritual intelligence, but it had a lot to do with the education, right? The preconditionings and how you were taught, the expectations of others that were imposed upon you. And this is the weekend, like I say, where you are the movement forward. You're looking at those past events that have caused fixations, caused stagnations, looked at those preconditionings that have really limited you in your movement. But instead, you've looked at, more importantly, what you can do, empowered yourself in what you can do to make sure that your desires align with your values. And this is where, if you've been looking at, or, what I get in a lot of this is like, you've been really ruminating in unrewarding energies, worried that your hard work may not pay off, not seeing that reward or that recognition that you're really called to in your life's purpose. And like I say, this is really looking at your desires and your values and the push-pull between the two. And what I see in a lot of ways is where that could have been misaligned, like I say, by different impositions or influences that were outside of your control. And it could have led you to really go within, really go to a place of comfort, basically, to find that center once again, to remove that frustration, as well as it could have caused you to pull away from an area physically and relocate to a place that was more comfortable, more familiar in a lot of ways. But it also led you to pull back from your calling. And so with this trine, as well as this square on the 16th, it really helps you with realigning and looking at the choices, the discernment of seeing your surroundings and challenging that push-pull between your values and your desires to once again realign your center and look at your well-being, look at your grounding, and find that center once again. And more importantly, align those desires that truly, oh my goodness, thank you, stand true to your values in everything that you are and in everything that you represent. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart, share your thoughts in the comments below. I just want to pull these out because this is gorgeous. A lot flew out in reverse, so I just want to make sure I'm reading it clearly. So right away here, this is where expectations of reward without labor may have misaligned you, right? Possibly even led towards a lot of spiritual warfare or impositions, like I say, of others' expectations on you that have really led towards poor work ethic. You know, you may have had some energies around you that have led towards wanting to take shortcuts or expect immediate reward without seeing the work that it takes along the road to really go into that. And like I say, this is the weekend where you are empowered, you are enlightened to identify these areas and create the realization, the enlightenment, walk through and toward that empowerment where you are the movement forward. And like I say, this is not necessarily, I don't want to make it seem like I'm putting this all on you, like it's your fault. What I mean is that through these expectations of general impositions, influences, culturally what are expected of us. And what comes to mind is like, you've got to go to school, go to college, and take out that humongous loan that's worth 3 houses in value financially, to then land a job that truly paid you just as much, unfortunately, in that unrewarding way, as if you had never gone to school. That was, so it's like you're achieving the white collar. You're being told that you have to go towards the white collar job to really make it in life. Where if you found that if you took the steps towards the blue collar job, whatever that may be, and what comes to mind for myself is like being an artist, right? True story. So, my parents always wanted me to be a doctor or a nurse, go into that medical field, because healing was something that came from within me. But I was pulled to the creative arts, right? And when you look at it, especially with wanting to be an art teacher, I did want to be that in one day, or in a time past life, is how I would put it. But when I was younger, well, when I started looking into it, in order to be an artist, an art teacher, you have to have a master's in every single field that you teach. So I would have to have a 4-year degree in ceramics, in painting, in illustration. Before I'd know it, basically, with everything that I wanted to do, if I followed my passions through the normal route, the expected route, I would have been going to school and getting 4 master's degrees. And can you even picture the amount of debt that I would be in? I knew right away that that wasn't the path that was meant for me. And so I embraced more doing what I love because I love it, right? No matter what. And so even if I don't have a master's degree, even if I can't teach because I'm not accredited, I can still mentor. I can still teach in other ways, even though they may not allow me to teach at a high school or at a middle school or whatever that be. But that's what I mean with this energy. And this is where you're really becoming aware of those desires versus those values and making sure that they align. You're being aware of those excessive behaviors, those imbalances that really, through that preconditioning, through that programming, and I'm not sure if you heard it, but confirmation here, my phone went off in the other room. I try and keep it in the other room so it doesn't impact the readings. But confirmation, if that resonates with you, it certainly is your confirmation according to the powers that be with the energy. But really, in those preconditionings, in those pre-expectations, I would have taken on so much financial debt that it would have caused a vice. And unfortunately, the job as an art teacher, for as much as I would have loved it, right? For as much as it would have been a phenomenal opportunity and rewarding in the way of how many children I got to instill those intelligence modalities in them, that creativity and that awakening for them. I also would have found that I would have been held back financially in being able to really do what I wanted to do, to be able to live the way I wanted to live as well. And so this is where you're looking at those aspects, your desires versus your values, and you're overcoming that blocked growth. You're ending those expectations. You're coming to those epiphanies and those revelations, and instead you're standing in your independence. You're tearing that down. And on the 17th, the sun in Taurus is going to be trine with the moon, which is in Cappy. It's also going to be conjunct with Uranus, which shakes things up, right? Uranus is also in Taurus, so it really speaks to the foundations. Double confirmation there, not sure if you heard it there. But also the moon is also going to be trine with Uranus as well. So between these three transits, it creates this beautiful synergy for Virgos. It's a time to embrace your freedom and recognize, be empowered by the enlightenment that you are the movement forward. You are the wheel at this point of good fortune, of good karma, but most importantly of positive change. This is where you may find that you're confidently experimenting with outside the box ideas, outside the box intelligences and in modalities that really enlighten and empower your creativity. And this alignment between these three transits, you may find really inspires the desire to break out of routines, break outside the norms, break outside of those expectations that are either culturally or some way influenced upon you as an expectation, and instead be freed to embrace the new ideas, explore the unconventional solutions, and may also, what I really loved about the synergy between these aspects, between these transits, is that it also offers an opportunity to create new avenues in your problem solving. And it gives you the strength to break free from that conventional thinking, that conventional expectation. And if that resonates, by all means, share your story, share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below, because this is the weekend where you are the movement forward. And it marks a time of significant personal growth and significant experience within your independence, where you may be experiencing different aspects about independence, diving into different pieces, different avenues, pathways, problem solvings that create an independence and a freedom for you that were unknown, that you haven't experienced before, that you weren't enlightened to. And so this is the day where really it's like you're walking forward towards your freedom, creating with your eyes wide open, I guess is how I would put it. And it's through that empowerment, that enlightenment, that you and you alone are the movement forward in your life. Champion just confirmed for us here as well. So, and so this is where you may find that it not only creates new avenues for you in your problem solving, but you're stepping into the place of the student as the apprentice, opening yourself up to new experiences and opportunities that allow you to learn new problem solving, new skills, gain new jobs even too. You may find that you're even embracing or being drawn to new innovative tech or ideas that challenge your existing beliefs. But this is where you're putting yourself in a place of learning, in a place of being open to receiving new information, new ideas, and consequently, in a positive way, opening new doors for yourself. And like I say, if that resonates, share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below, because this is an exciting energy here. It's got a lot of fire. It's got a lot of with the Aries energy. It's got a lot of grounding with that Taurian energy, and then it also is a balance with that Geminian energy, the sign of our social engagements, right? The sign of the balance of the heart and mind. And it leads to material and pleasures, success and money, wealth, prosperity, as well as career opportunities that are more aligned to your purpose and to your crown chakra. Now, on the 18th, the moon is also going to be moving into Aquarius. And so at this time, it happens to be sextile with Neptune, which is in Aries. Neptune is our planet of vision. When it comes to manifestations, it's like this is all about what your vision is. This is all about how you envision when it comes to manifestation. And the moon also, oh my goodness, thank you. The moon also happens to be conjunct with Pluto, which is also in Aquarius at this time. And so be anticipating, I should say. Expect a shift in your focus, especially when it comes to Virgos. This is the time between these transits on the 18th where it encourages Virgos to break free of conventional thought patterns and embrace unconventional approaches to life, unconventional steps, practices, knowledges. And so, like I say, this is the weekend where truly it is all about taking a new forward approach to life, forward thinking with radical change, where it empowers you, it enlightens you that you indeed are the movement forward that you need and that you will experience in this life. It creates those paths and once again allows you to stand up and stand your ground, particularly when it comes to unfair advantages. And more importantly, turn the wheel in your favor, where you might have been brought outside of the norm, right? Pulled in ways, not outside of the norm, I should say, but pulled in ways that's taken your strength, that's caused you to have to stand guard, maybe wanted to even pull you out of character in a lot of ways. This is where, against adversity, your center is here, where things wanted to maybe bring you again out of character through conditionings, through expectations. This is where instead you are standing grounded in calmness, with self-control, and more importantly, in a place of healing. And light is indeed coming, and that is another confirmation. I'm just getting it now. And this is where, with the Three of Swords in reverse, this is where you may also see in a lot of ways you're able to release that negativity and embrace the optimism with your opening your heart chakra. You may also see an apology coming in or a reconciliation coming in as well. But this is where, with this transit, with these shifts on the 18th, it not only encourages you to break free of that conventional thought pattern, embrace unconventional approaches to life, but it influences us in a way that inspires us to reevaluate our values and our beliefs. And it allows us really to shift our approach when it comes to relationships, when it comes to career, and our overall life path. And so to break it down, when the moon is in Aquarius, it's really about a need for mental stimulation, intellectual exploration. And so it breaks us outside of the box and leads us to seek out new ideas and perspectives and challenge the deeply ingrained thought patterns. It puts light with voluntary change towards the dark, the unseen, and instead allows us to really look at our spirituality and embrace what's meant for us with confidence and let our subconscious lead the way. Now with the 18 as well, this is also about opening that third eye, but it reduces to a 9, which is all about beginnings, completions. It also looks at receiving information, receiving those subliminal guidance from our ancestors, as well as through our subconscious, utilizing our intuition. Now, I just want to spread these out because a lot flew out as we were going through this. I'm not sure what order they came out, so I'm just going with what I'm called to. But what I see in a lot of ways was with what was influenced on you by expectations, by societal, whether it be familial, whatever it was, they were truly decoys. It was meant to really pull you off of your path and put you in a place where really you didn't necessarily know your path, right? It almost like shielded your path or hid your path in a lot of ways in darkness, in that scorpionic energy, through too many options, through decoys that weren't necessarily meant for you, that really challenged and tore down your boundaries and pulled you away from your purpose. In a lot of ways, too, it made you look at, with the Three of Cups in reverse, indulgence. Again, like with me wanting to go to art, to become an art teacher, to have to get 4 master's degrees just to be able to teach students in high school. boy, was that a way to silence my throat chakra, to really silence my voice. And instead, this is really where, instead of relying too much on those social norms, you're breaking free. You are the movement forward. And especially with that moon in Aquarius, it's going to help you challenge those deeply ingrained thought patterns. And also, too, look at them and fully close those doors and instead walk towards your bright horizon. Walk towards what's truly meant for you and release those expectations so that you can gain that strength of the sun and hold that within. Now, with the sextile with the moon and Neptune, I should say. So with Neptune and Aries and being a sextile with the moon at this point, it really boosts our creativity as well as our intuition. And so this is where we can really connect with our third eye. We can all really as well embrace that sacral energy, embrace that creativity, and instead too, look at what we learned in the past, what was ingrained in us, what was expected of us in the past or through societal norms and expectations, and allow ourselves to really enjoy the simple pleasures in life, but most importantly, to utilize those wisdoms that we've gained in recognizing through discernment what's meant for us and what's not, and use that as a tool so that we can truly walk towards what's meant for us. Now, with the potential of the Page of Wands and in reverse here as well, this is where, like I say, through those expectations, it could have caused a lack of creativity or innovation, or even held you back with your curiosity. It made it where it created blockages where you were afraid to explore. You were afraid of failure or receiving bad news from not following those norms of expectations. This is where, with the sextile with Neptune, it allows us to really lead with a heightened awareness of and embrace our subconscious, to tap into our creative potential, embrace that sacral energy so that we can truly stand as the Queen of Pentacles, and embrace the potential that's unlimited, I should say, within us. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this is where you are standing as a go-getter. Not only are you standing in your creativity, you're standing in your root chakra, in your center, but you're also looking at business, right? And this may be as well with that Neptune energy and with that fire. You're stepping into the Fool's shoes, the student's shoes, as the Page of Pentacles, and really learning what you don't know, embracing new ideas, outside the box unconventional thinking as an entrepreneur. And with the conjunction of Pluto in Aquarius and the moon, this is where it really brings a powerful transformation. It urges us to confront those deep-seated beliefs, those behavior patterns, with a sense of urgency and tear down those walls, tear down those ingrained patterns that aren't ours to begin with. They were just imposed upon us, right? And instead, dismantle the outdated structures and embrace a more radical, forward-thinking approach to life. And again, like I say, this is the weekend where you indeed are empowered and enlightened that you are the movement forward. I'm just saying. And if that resonates, by all means, like, share, subscribe, put a heart in the comments below, share your thoughts on this and how you're breaking free and creating those new doors for yourself, those new avenues through problem solving, through embracing those innovative ideas and challenging those existing beliefs that were once imposed and influenced on you. Now, I do also want to get some guidance from our ancestors here. And so what we pulled here is the Penguin, and this is about standing in your authenticity. This is a time to reach out to your tribe in times of need. Know that family gives you strength. And on this channel, on the Honey Sea Star Tarot, please know, I should say, that we indeed are your tribe, your family, and we walk with you, especially when you face the storm. This is the time to love your uniqueness, shine in the light that you were born with and that you were meant, that you hold within. Because you're full of surprises, you're breaking free from others' expectations, and this is the time to know that you are the movement forward by being just as you are, standing in your authenticity. I love it, and I have goosebumps right now. I am just saying. Now, I do also want to look at our major arcana here for a music meditation, for our color therapy, because truly that is the medicine when we are led forward. And let me just take a peek here. Okay, so we pulled just one. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. So this is all about the dreamer with that Piscean energy, as well as embracing that third eye, knowing that indeed you are the movement forward when it comes to change. You create the change. You are the change. and embracing that unforeseen, seeing those hidden enemies, what's instilled upon you, what's influenced on you, but more importantly, letting your intuition and your subconscious guide you. That is the medicine. And for music medicine, what we pulled here is B. And so try playing around with the chord of B when you do your meditation improv. Also, too, color therapy wise, what I'm really getting is a lot of magentas. And so that's embracing the reds of the root chakra as well as marrying them with the purples, the royalty of your crown chakra. And so it's fully being aligned from head to toe, right? So embrace the magentas here during this week. It'll really help you with aligning and really standing firm in the power that you have within you that creates your movement forward. And so I truly hope that this message helps. I am sending all my love and light to you. Please take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next reading.